sensed the jewel's power. He had a feeling they were going to be great friends. So, what's this plan of yours? Use me as bait, said Lupino. And he outlined a slightly complicated plan that involved geese, a net, setting the Farfarer a little bit on fire, Lupino dressing as an old blind toad, and Reynardo hiding inside a monstrous watermelon. What could possibly go wrong? Thought Reynardo. Oh, go ahead. I'm sure you know better, said Lupino.
Shall we dance?
Called the lead raven.
Kill the fox!
Called the ravens. Nobody said they were originals. Reynardo slinked through Zenobia's ship, making no sound at all. Where were her guards? Finally, he reached her bedroom. She was curled up on her bed. Oh, he'd forgotten how beautiful she was. How sleek. How soft. He tapped her on the shoulder with his sword. She became smoke. And he noticed he had a blade to his throat. Stay a while, purred a familiar voice. Did you really think you could capture me? Zenobia said as her ship lifted off. Now I just wanted some privacy, Reynardo said. Reynardo knew she still had feelings for him. Maybe he could just cut to the chase. But was timing right for that? Did you ever wonder why the Emperor adopted you? And he told her why. His Imperial Majesty wanted to bring the lost gods back. They could make him immortal. But to seal the bargain, he needed a sacrifice. Someone who truly loved him. You're lying. She was furious. You can't prove that. I can. And so, they set sail for the Nexus. The scientists at the observatory have resurrected one of his victims. Well, he's not exactly alive, but he can talk, and he can't lie. You took a big risk. You know, I could just cast a spell to make you tell me where the rebel base is, and you wouldn't consider that cheating? She frowned. Ugh, fine. Let's go get your witness. The rebellion had started after atrocities that the Empire hushed up. Reynardo had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred for one book. He had slept in a burnt village. Dead kittens and puppies had come to tell him what the Emperor had done to them. Reynardo wondered idly if people who had built these poles had really, really long tentacles. She caught up with him. Don't you think I'd know if my father started practicing black magic? Why? Would you want to join in? Oh, no, I'd destroy his books and... All right, I suppose I wouldn't.
She stopped, troubled. He ran on.
Good thing Reynardo didn't have vertigo.
Scientists on this island had been investigating the Emperor's dark ritual on their own. They were neutral in the civil war engulfing the Empire, but they could see that the dark magics the old toad had loosed were changing the world. Reynardo hoped he and Zenobia weren't putting them in danger. Energy spheres. Easy to dodge, but boy did they sting if you didn't pay attention.
It was definitely easier to fight inanimate objects. The observatory was a burning hulk. Dead scientists and black feathers everywhere. The ravens had taken care to burn the reanimated witness to cinders. Zenobia stared around, shocked. The scientists had been neutral. They had no part in the rebellion. "Take me to your council," she said, shaken. "I have things to tell them." It was what Reynardo had gambled on. The Zenobia would turn against her father once she knew his madness. But
The rebel base was secret. Could he really risk taking the Emperor's daughter there, even if she did love him? Reynardo reached Lapino by Farspeaker Toad, the one creature the ravens had left alive at the observatory.
I'll meet up with you at the base,
Lapino said through the toad. Good thinking. Reynardo gave him the coordinates. There's a shuttle here I can borrow. Reynardo found Zenobia in the chart room. I've been having awful dreams, she said. Dead kittens and worse. I thought they were only dreams, you know. Why would anyone want the lost gods back? In those days, the favorite of a god could become immortal. She held herself and shivered. He wants to become an eater of souls. Well, I'm not afraid of dying. Just dying of boredom. Reynardo said, but she didn't laugh. Silence fell as they flew towards the ruins of the city of Ubar, where the rebellion leadership was hiding. If Zenobia couldn't help them fight off her father, no one could. As they touched the ground, he could smell the ravens and hear their hungry caws in the distance. They're probably looking for me, she said. You go on ahead. She had that fiery look in her eyes that he'd always loved. It was a bit odd, though. How easy she'd been to convince. It was what he'd gambled on, but he'd expected more of an argument. She'd always loved to argue. She considered it the fastest way to the truth. Maybe she'd long suspected the truth. Sometimes all it took was taking the bandages from your eyes. That must be it, he told himself. In this chest, there were woodcuts of amazing, beautiful vixens wearing no clothes at all. And something more useful. This was way better than being able to shrink down to the size of an ant. What was that all about, anyway? He was practically sure he'd find something useful in one of these things. If Zenobia had really turned, the war could soon be over. She could send orders to the fleet that would leave their defenses wide open. The rebels could sail right in and capture the Emperor. Victory, with not too many casualties. There was a pleasant breeze coming through that door. Had it been closed before? Rather well, actually. What did you do if one of these platforms stalled?
They caught their breath under a ruined arch. "It's beautiful," she said. "This was the library of Ubar," he said. "Your father's ravens thought they had an ancient book." She nodded. Was she crying? This was exactly what I wanted, Reynardo thought. To turn her to our cause. So, why do I feel something is terribly wrong? Because nothing ever goes this smoothly, is why.
Once met a pirate captain. He used hooks to get around his ship. Oh, what was his name again? Surprisingly unwounded. Anyone ever tell you have a lovely eye? No? long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good. My God. It's full of stars. Council toads swarmed around Zenobia, shocked she was there, shocked she had changed sides. Then, the walls exploded. He heard toads croaking, "Oh, the ravens!" Blackbirds were pouring through holes everywhere. "It's a trap!" cried the council speaker. In the confusion, he saw flashes of magic. Then Zenobia being hustled off by Imperial troops. So... she had betrayed him after all. Reynardo ran for his ship. The Farfarer flew into the clouds, barely losing the Imperial ravens pursuing him. The rebellion was lost, and he had lost it. There was nothing to do but find Zenobia and make her pay for her treachery. His heart ached. He still loved her. But he had trusted her, and he had been a fool. She would be back at the fleet, gloating with her mad, bloodthirsty father. For all Reynardo knew, she was helping him bring back the old, lost gods back from their exile. Reynardo landed in the middle of the Imperial fleet. The rebels were losing badly. Without leadership, it was a slaughter. Reynardo felt strangely free, trying not to think about how he had lost the war, trying not to think about how he had loved Zenobia, blinded himself to her treachery. That's what it meant to be a hero. To keep on fighting after the most bitter of betrayals. To never know if you could trust anyone. Cats. What a waste of fur. Reynardo had a feeling that was the back door to something. But what? He was sort of yanking his own chain, wasn't he? What had happened to Lepido? Had the mad rabbit fled to safety? Or was he forlornly carrying on like the few rebels Reynardo could see here or there? It didn't matter anymore. All there was slash and spin, parry and lunge, over and over as he fought his way across the fleet. All there was finding the girl he'd once loved, who had used his love against him and putting as big a hole in her heart as she'd left in his. There was an inscription on the platform. Balaleka lesson with an address.
Have you ever felt you were just going round in circles? Reynardo felt like that.
Sorry, mustache, thought Reynardo. And suddenly, Zenobia was there, advancing a Lapino. So the mad rabbit had survived. "Save me, or I'm done for!" screamed Lapino. Zenobia turned, showing her teeth in a smile. "You're alive!" Reynardo ran towards the witch. "Lapino's the one who betrayed you!" she shouted. "He warned my father!" Reynardo sank his sword into the witch before she could fool him again. She stared at him, heartbroken. "No! Lapino's the traitor!" Then he felt a knife in his back. "I'm afraid she's right," said the mad rabbit. "Ain't I a stinker?" Then the sun went out. Oh, damn it. He'd lost again, and died. But there was burning Ubar behind him. He still had all his destinies ahead of him. But he'd learned another true thing. Lapino was a traitor. Reynardo had suspected there was something wrong with the mad rabbit. But now he knew there was malice behind his goofiness.